Look, you lean on it, nothing happens. Doesn't wobble at all. I used to love the old wobble.
When I first watched Kerblam on BBC America way back in 2018, I thought I had guessed the ending about halfway through. Oh, the boss is killing all these workers so they won't have to pay them. Well, it turns out I was both wrong and stupid because the system is never at fault, and disgruntled workers are always the problem. For those of you who don't rewatch bad Doctor Who, Kerblam takes place on a moon which is a warehouse for space Amazon. Not exaggerating, that's just what it is. It's space Amazon. The Doctor receives this help me message on a package she ordered, so she and the fam go and become hourly wage earners at the facility.
I was hoping for something a bit less really repetitive, but quite enjoying it.
We meet a few of the other manual laborers, all of whom are dead by the end, spoilers. The system kills one of these people in front of this guy, the janitor, because he plans on killing hundreds of people in a political stunt. Why is he doing this? Because only 10% of the population have jobs. All the other stuff is done by robots.
These are automated and repetitive tasks. Why not get the robots to do it?
Like the slogan says, real people need real jobs. Work gives us purpose, right?
Some work, maybe.
I should be clear, murder is bad, always. Doesn't matter who, or why, or what, it's just bad. But I don't like the notion that someone would commit mass murder in order to have a job. I don't know about all of you, but I have a job because it gives me money, not purpose. If you have a job that does give you purpose, great. But that's not for me, and it's not for most of the people I work with at my hourly job. So there's kind of an implication in Kerblam that money is still a necessity in this otherwise automated society. The supervisors have nice suits, while the employees wear vests. There is a hierarchy. One of the manual laborers we meet is saving money for his daughter's education, so she doesn't end up doing manual labor herself.
Twice a year I splurge on an economy shuttle. Rest of my wages I put away for her education. I do this job so she doesn't end up like her dad.
So school still costs money, being educated is still a sign of class. The other manual laborer we meet, Kira, has only ever received one gift in her life. These aren't people who just have a job for fun. They need this work. They need to get paid. So is this society post-scarcity? The amount of stuff people buy from Kerblam implies that it might be, but only for those in the upper classes.
This looks familiar.
So why can't the robots do all the physical labor while humans focus on learning, on art, on family? Why can't this dad spend time with his daughter and send her to school because learning is good? Why do these people still have to play the game of being better than someone else?
How would you like a warning for insubordination?
If you haven't seen this episode, it might surprise you to learn that the Doctor is actually in favor of this hierarchy. She's on the side of the system, and there is no nuance.
The systems aren't the problem. How people use and exploit the system, that's the problem. People like you.
How is Charlie, Kerblam's janitor, exploiting the system, Doctor? He's planning mass murder, but that's not really exploitation. Is it that he's using his access to Kerblam's resources to enact his insane plan? But he's doing it for political reasons, not personal gain, so that's still not exploitation. No, the real exploiter is the person we never see, making money off of Kerblam's sales and never touching a single product they sell. But let's put that aside. Let's put the whole show aside and look at Doctor Who as a franchise, because without Amazon, we might not have gotten Kerblam or a lot of other recent episodes.
You know, even before the Disney stuff, we know that Doctor Who was being funded with money from the commercial side. You know, there was a lot that was coming in from that side. I mean, effectively, you know, the amount of money that BBC One itself puts in to show it is fairly small now. You know, I mean, if they make Doctor Who, BBC One will want to show it, but how much money are they actually putting in themselves? Not a huge proportion of it.
That was Tom Spilsbury. He used to write a column for Doctor Who magazine on viewing figures. Now, to be honest, I can't find much in terms of evidence for Doctor Who's funding outside of this quote. I'm going to trust Tom Spilsbury on this because he has a long history with the show and Doctor Who magazine. I recommend you go listen to that Radio Free Skaro episode if you have any doubts. We do have some knowledge about the BBC's general funding, though. In 2023 to 2024, about 68% of the BBC's funding came from the license fee. This used to be where Doctor Who got most, if not all, of its funding. If you don't know, the license fee is something every British person who wants to watch TV must pay. If you're outside the UK, it's the thing you lie about paying after you use your VPN to access iPlayer. But the license fee is actually very important. It keeps British TV public, meaning it doesn't need to appeal to any potential advertisers. To the American executive, a TV show is a marketing tool to sell ads, but the BBC doesn't need to sell anything. Or at least it didn't. In April 2018, the BBC finalized a merger between the former BBC Studios and BBC Worldwide. This new division, also called BBC Studios, is considered the commercial arm of the BBC. When was Kerblam first broadcast again? 2018, what a coincidence. This new studio's success in creating and commercially exploiting new content and its associated IP is crucial to the BBC going forward, according to them. And it's working. BBC Studios just posted its highest earnings yet. So what does this mean for Doctor Who? Well, if we want the show to continue, we all need to buy a few extra sonic screwdrivers. The lining on my jacket is spoiled. To be clear, I have totally bought into this. I just got the Season 18 collection box set from Amazon, and I'm pretty excited to dive into it. Of course, the collection range is sold by BBC Studios, so I just bought into the system. Doctor Who's backlog is an exploitable commercial asset. One of the big contributors to these box sets is the writer of Kerblam, Pete McTighe. Now, I don't think he's a bad guy, but I do think he's out of touch with the person who put my copy of the Season 18 box set into an Amazon sleeve.
We're suspending all operations for a month.
All our workers have been given 2 weeks paid leave.
For a lot of laborers, 2 weeks of no pay would put a lot of pressure on their finances. McTighe has incentive to support Amazon because it gives him and other creators at the BBC work, which is good. But we need to put the people boxing up the box sets on the same level as these creators, because they are both necessary if I want to watch K9 and Company in glorious high definition. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Croagnon, I couldn't care less how they fund Doctor Who as long as it gets made. And I get it, I eat up whatever content they slop into the trough. But Doctor Who should be for everyone, not just for the people who are privileged enough to buy merchandise. And yes, it will continue to be shown on BBC One, but how much of the show is going to become advertising? Does the 15th Doctor have different colored Sonics because he likes to accessorize? Or because BBC Studios can license more toys? Worse, will the show support systems that hurt people because it makes them more money? But Doctor Who is not a franchise. It's not something to be sold. Doctor Who is art. Doctor Who is community. Doctor Who is hope. Yeah, the classic series didn't have the huge budget of commercialized American TV and movies, but they told stories because they wanted to tell stories. This show attracts some of the most amazing creators on the planet, so they can tell stories that inspire people to do good. I used to be very particular about Doctor Who DVDs. I wanted every single one on my shelf in broadcast order, and that's impossible because many of them are missing. But a guy named Matthew Purchase, or Cyberdevil on the socials, designed covers that looked like those in the DVD range. So I printed out one for The Massacre, a great but missing story, uploaded a reconstruction to a disc, and put it on my shelf where it stayed for years. In 2022, a guy named Ryan Gosling wore a shirt with his friend Ncuti Gatwa on it. Gatwa then shouted out the artist, that same Matthew Purchase. Purchase then put the shirt on his Redbubble, where he donated the profits to the children of Rwanda, and that is Doctor Who.
I used to sell Doctor Who merchandise at conventions all over America.
I love Doctor Who.
Do you? All right.
What's your favourite episode ever? Let me answer it for you. Kablam with Jodie Whittaker.
No.
Because I was in it. What do you mean, no? I was in that. Do you remember it?
Yes, unfortunately.
What?